Coming up on tonight's episode.
There it is, look at that. That looks really good. That looks insanely good considering it is hiding behind some trees right now.
I'm going to be imaging Comet Lemon from my back garden with 3 very different setups. In order to get up close and personal with a comet, I'll be using my Skywatcher HAC125DX telescope partnered with my Player One Saturn camera on my Huawei 14 mount. And for a wider, more relatable perspective, I'm going to be using a 105mm f1.4 lens with my Sony a7S camera. I'm hoping to get at least 20 minutes worth of footage before it dips behind my house. Lastly, I'm going to try something really bold. I'm going to be using my mobile device to see if I can become one of the first people on the planet to capture a comet with their smartphone. Can it be done? Let's find out. I'm the Telescope Man and this is Astronomical.
That's good. That's really good. Hello, right now the Skywatcher 125 HAC-DX is imaging Comet Lemon and it's taking some really good images. I've actually just got some shots as well with this camera and long lens. I thought I'd take this moment whilst it's taking those live images just to give you a quick update on what's going on with the channel, because as many of you will be aware, over the weekend it got banned, which is really upsetting as you can imagine. I did manage to appeal the decision and I was successful, but unfortunately not only was my main astronomical channel banned, the new channel that I've just started up, the Telescope Man, was also kicked off of YouTube, and my appeal for that being banned was unsuccessful and the channel has now been completely deleted from YouTube, which is a huge shame because I'd spent months and months preparing to do a big kickoff and launch with the channel, and I think it had 500 subscribers within the first 3 days, which was insane. But yeah, that's gone. I've tried contacting YouTube, but they just don't want to listen. It's all completely automated by bots, and when I logged in through my main account and said, "Hi, you've just deleted my second account," they said, "I'm sorry, we can't discuss these details unless you are signed in as the email address of the user of this account that you're talking about." So I said, fine, signed out, and then tried to open a new chat, but they won't talk to you unless you're a YouTube affiliate partner. There is literally no way to talk to YouTube if you don't have 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. So yeah, the channel's gone. I've tried messaging them. They said to get back to me in 48 hours. They didn't. 72 hours later, I tried replying again, and I'm still yet to hear anything back, but absolute bloody nightmare. So instead, I'm going to be posting the Telescope Man videos to this channel, I believe. I have created a short series called Man vs Hubble that I'm really excited about, but this ban kind of took all the excitement out of it for a short period.
So yeah, make sure you are subscribed for that. Anyway, how cool is this? This is a sped up sequence of 1-second exposures that I captured of the comet with the telescope. You can see how many satellites and planes there are whizzing about over such a short period of time. I did manage to snap a single 60-second exposure of the comet and bring out a lot more detail in its tail, but to be honest, I was mostly focused on creating a time lapse, which is where my camera came in clutch, as it captured this 15-minute video of the comet sinking in the horizon. Now, because of its wider field of view, it's going to feel like you're seeing a lot more satellites and planes. There are actually 2 comets available to spot in our evening sky at the moment, and I think I just about got the second one, but to tell you the truth, it's just a guess really. This particular star looks a little less round and sharp than the others, so I don't really know. I wasn't going to waste time trying to image that whilst I had the perfect comet right in front of me, waiting to be captured with my smartphone.
Right, so we have the telescope going, we have the camera going, and now I'm going to try and image this comet with my mobile phone and using the £69 T-Seek Nano Tracker. Let's see how we get on. First thing we're going to have to do though is turn off flash, because that is absolutely no good to us.
So after we've polar aligned our tracking mount with the inbuilt laser, it's time to zoom in to 5 times magnification, open the expert RAW section of the camera app, and start taking repeated 30-second long exposures at an ISO of 500 by clicking the Galaxy pen so as not to vibrate the phone when pressing the capture button. And just to give you an idea of what this image would have looked like without the help of the tracking mount. This is another 30-second long exposure at an ISO of 500, and you can still technically see the comet, but it is very much a blurry mess. So there we go, 3 different setups and 3 very different images of the comet. You could actually argue to a certain degree as to which image of the comet was better between the mobile phone and the camera. The main limiting factor for the phone is that it caps the exposures that you can do at 30 seconds. But if I do get a clear night again soon, it'd be very interesting to see how 20 minutes worth of phone images stacked together would look. Let me know which view out of the 3 setups that you preferred the most. Thanks for watching, I'm a Telescope Man, and this was Astronomical.